Hello creatives, welcome back to the design studio. I feel like Mr. Rogers right now. I'm like just putting my apron on, so trying to heat up my shop. It's about 40 something degrees outside right now, so we're back to those cold winter temperatures. But today I wanted to show you a new way to basically, sometimes people are looking to make swags and maybe they don't have the evergreen greenery, maybe they don't have the frame for that, but you might have these additional materials laying around your house and have always thought, well, what else can I do with them? So I'm going to show you how we're going to make a swag using Dollar Tree candy cane frames. So we're going to be making the last of our gingerbread. We're doing gingerbread this week. We're finishing that up. We've already done a pancake style wreath with you guys on Tuesday. And so we're doing a swag today. So lots of ribbon, lots of mesh, an entirely new way of doing it. So if you want to keep this tutorial someplace handy where you have that available, just click the share button down below. That'll share this tutorial to your Facebook page and you'll have it ready when you're ready to put yours together. And there's so many different variations you can use this on for different holidays, different themes, and I'm sure you guys are going to totally love this because the Dollar Tree candy cane frames are starting to pop up now. So this is a design that you can use for that. If you guys could also do me a favor and make sure that you're receiving notifications, because I would hate for you to miss out on a Facebook Live. So the easy way to do that is just make sure you click the like button, but also in addition to that, the follow button, which is hidden. 3 dots over from the like button, it'll open up a sub menu and allow you to follow the page. Once you have both of those done, you should receive notifications on your wireless device when you're ready. When someone's going live, you should get a little pop-up notification if you haven't turned those off manually. Let me go ahead and type in the website because I do have this wreath currently listed. It'll be the only one I make this year. Make sure my page is refreshing. There we go. So I can comment on the right video. Okay, we're swiping. So not only can you make this purchase from the website, but you can also sign up for my private group at that website. And there's a ton of free information, a ton of free tutorials that you guys might be interested in, including the bow making recipe. So that is available for you. Okay, I think we are good. I don't know why I'm not seeing comments. Can someone leave me a comment really quick? Just so that I can see. I just want to make sure Facebook is working appropriately. And then I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down so that you can watch. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Now, will it show up on my screen? There it goes. This is a huge delay today. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. Hang tight. Hi, Denise. Welcome from North Carolina. Let's make sure everything is all squared up and that you can see everything you guys need to see. That's about as close and upfront and personal as we can get. So we are using the Dollar Tree frame, and as you can see, I didn't do one, but I have done the other so that I can go over with you exactly how many pipe cleaners you're going to need. Because I have done this video before, but I didn't show people how to do pipe cleaner placement. So I want to make sure that we correct that. So you're going to need 2 of the Dollar Tree frames, and you want the big ones. So the big ones, when you measure from the end all the way to the top, we're at 21 inches. So you need the one with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections. If you're using the other one that is available, 1, 2, 3, it only has 5 and it's way smaller. So just make sure you count your sections if you don't have a tape measure handy. And then what we're going to do is we're simply going to zip tie them together like so. You can see that it kind of doesn't line up down here at the bottom, but I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. So before we finish wiring this one up, We want to take 6-inch zip ties, and I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this section of what we're doing. I'm going to take a 6-inch zip tie, and I'm going to zip tie together through the cross beams. So there's that one. Snip the excess off. We're going to do another one right here on that cross beam, just on the middle sections. We don't need to do them to the outside. It doesn't need to be overkill and zip tie all the sections, but these two will be enough to hold that in place. So we're also going to do it down here, just so that we don't get any wobble room, you know, like where it won't quite line up correctly. So there's this one and this one. So I'm just zip tying the 2 inner rings on that crossbeam section, so this way they won't pull apart. Okay, that looks perfect, right? So let me go ahead and zoom out. So now we've got to pull these 2 in together, which is super simple. It's actually easier than you think. So you're just going to simply put one over the top. You've got to get the first couple ones in. So I'm going to start just with feeding my zip tie in. Because once you put tension on your zip ties, you'll be fine. So I'm trying to get everything all squared up. Trying to get that one right where it needs to be, nice and tight. And then we're going to go ahead and zip tie the same section, but over here, right on these crossbars. And that'll help pull that tension in. Okay, you can see it's all squared up nice, because they kind of have a little outward bow to them. You know, they're not perfectly straight up and straight down when you're looking at the frame anyway. Okay, there's that one. And we'll do the last one here. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to wire together this frame. If I have my calculations correct, it should be 28 total pipe cleaners. So again, just looking to make sure that one's there. I'm actually going to take one and put it right here on the outside, just right here. Just because these guys are wanting to separate right here at the ends. So that will prevent that from happening. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, right inside. And then we'll be set. Okay. So now we're ready for the pipe cleaners. So what you are going to do for wiring these together is the outside pipe cleaners are going to go on every single weld. So you're going to wire together the 2 outside sections on each of the welds. But then when we get up to the top, we have these bigger gaps here. So we're going to need to include one to the outside here and the outside here. So I've already done, it's like from this section all the way down, I've completed here. So we're going to go ahead and finish including the welds. And I'm just using the red, white, and tan pipe cleaners. So the inside 2 go to the inside 2. So there's one in that section. We're going to go ahead and put another one in here. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and put one in here. So I'm just doing the inside only. just in the center of every single section. Just like that. We're back to white. That's going to go right in the middle of that curve. Same thing in the other section, right in the middle of the curve. I just make sure my pipe cleaners are even so I have the same amount of space to add product to. And then we're going to do this one right in the center. Right there. Okay, so we've got the inside all completed all the way around. So I'm going to start right here and we're going to count our inside. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 to the inside too. Now we are going to wire together the outside too. Cat can't keep her section straight because there should have been a tan. So let's just switch that. So tan to the middle. I don't want these to match. So let's go, it's like red, white, tan. Red, white, tan. They should not have wound up this way. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the red one back in. And we'll just be off. Because all these are is just a way to wire them together. And so now we're back to our weld. So I'm going the tan. Then I'm going to put one on the white right through. Just like how we were putting our zip ties on. This is exactly how I am wiring together the outside. Now we're going to do red right through the cross beam. So they're on the welds to the outside. Here's our tan. Right in here. And then we have white. Again on the cross beam. And because the corners are so wide, we have to add in that extra just to make that look full. And then we're going our tan on the cross beam. You're so welcome, Jackie. I noticed that when I did this a couple years ago, I just had it all wired together and I never even explained how to put everything together and why. So I was like, okay, that needs to be redone. So again, we're going to the middle to fill the curve. And then we're joining these together. So right on the cross beam. And then we're going to go ahead and add our tan right on the cross beam. And if I did this correctly, it should be 16 to the outside, but let's count. I'm going to start right here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 pipe cleaners to the outside too. And then we have 12 pipe cleaners to the inside too, for a grand total of 28. So depending upon what method you prefer, hi Carla, welcome from New Mexico. I am doing ruffles on this method because I went over to Hobby Lobby yesterday just to kind of peruse and look around and see what was new. And I came across a new deco mesh. So I was like, oh, that'll be perfect for a gingerbread. So because we're doing 28 pipe cleaners, it means that you're going to need 2 rolls of deco mesh. So the great thing is that at Hobby Lobby, their deco mesh in their Christmas, all the Christmas is half off. So it's kind of like buy one, get one free. So this is what we're going to do. These are all cut with rotary cutter to 20 inches long. And I'm going to start with the inside. I think the inside will be easier. I don't know, we'll try this. Last time I've done poofs on this, so we're doing ruffles. So we're just going to imagine there's a line up the middle. We're going to gather these in about 1/2 inch increments. This is our bow tie. We're going to take that finished edge, since I'm working on the outside, or inside, sorry. I'm going to fold down my outside pieces. So I'm going to start here. Okay, there is the first one. 2 twists. And we are not going to be using any of the inside, so I'm taking these out as I go through, because you won't see this anyway. So cut that off. Go ahead and tuck that back to the inside. Let's actually just do these like we do the other method, which is the next one, because I think if I kept going, the outside pieces would get lost. So I'm now moving to the outside here. And this is a jute mesh. It is the red and tan plaid. I'm going to go ahead and lay this right on top of my existing piece. 2 twists, and we're leaving that one on because it is the outside piece. And now I'm just going to make way for me. So I'm going to push to the left, make way for our other piece here. And then we're going inside. And we're going to give it about 5 twists. We're going to go ahead and remove the excess. Tuck that little piece back down. And then we'll just fan this out so that it helps to create volume, since we're doing a ruffle method instead of a poof method. So this will be a first for me. So making room for my outside piece. Hi Stella, hi Bernie from Canada, hi Christine from the UK, Lenora, Denise, Suli from Rio de Janeiro, welcome, hi Laura, hi Jackie, and Carla from New Mexico, welcome. Okay, just want to make sure I hadn't missed any comments. Hi Carol from Florida, welcome. Okay, let's go ahead and plop that one in. So I'm always taking my finished edges. Hi Joanne from the UK, welcome. And so in order to prevent the frays from continuing to fray, I just barely fold over the edges. Again, we're moving to the outside. I'm going to leave this one unfluffed till I get that inside piece in. Use a smaller, tighter ruffle. So this will take 2 rolls of deco mesh. But if you were to do the poof method, since your poofs on the inside would probably be a little bit smaller, you could get away with 1 complete roll of 21-inch mesh if you wanted to do a poof method on this. So a couple twists. Snip that off, tuck it back inside. Now we're going to lay this one underneath the previous one. We need to get that piece under and then move our outside piece right over the top. There we go. Bend those ends down outside. This one's going to take just a bit because we're doing 10 more additional pieces than we normally do when putting together a design. So I'm just alternating an inside piece, then an outside piece. We're leaving the pipe cleaners on the outside pieces. We're folding our corners over, just like we would do on a regular wreath, and move those to the center. And now we're ready for our inside piece. So I needed something fluffy because we're going to be putting our wreath attachment in the center, which is a giant gingerbread plush. So we do need something to support the weight. And as you can see, we're doing an overlap here on the center, so it's going to have plenty of support. Even though the wreath attachment is not that heavy, you could, like I said, end up doing like a nutcracker in the same manner. You could just, now that you have so much mesh in the center to support the weight of that nutcracker, you could definitely use that. Back to our outside. So this one will fray. So fraying on this is just part of the process. If you wanted to limit how much it frays, you could spray it with E6000 adhesive spray, and that would help keep some of those frays. It's kind of like an adhesive glue, but without the stiffness. Okay, now we're kind of lined up exactly. That's how I keep doing that. When I go and I push things forward, I'm actually turning off my power for the things in my power strip, like my glue gun, my lights. So I'm going to go inside here, since insides are generally easier to put in. Put it inside here. Go ahead and get our outside piece in. So we're almost about halfway done. We've gotten our one side just about finished. We're making the turn. So I was taking my time, right-siding my deco mesh to make sure everything has a home. We need to see those connecting pieces so that when we're ready to add in our embellishment or ribbons, we know right where everything is. Now we're doing outside piece. Should be able to get this one without weighting it down since it's a fairly new piece. Right over the top. Make sure these meet. So we've got those down. And then we're going to do, we're back to our inside. This is where we're doing our curve. So inside. What do you guys think of this mesh for, like I said, this is from Hobby Lobby, so for those of you that purchase from local retailers, this is definitely a plus for you guys. Make sure our outside goes on top of the inside. Got to get this piece right here, though. It is a lot of mesh. And this is why we weigh everything down, because it's always going to want to curl back up the way that it was put on the roll. I like using what I call the next method. This way I don't skip any pipe cleaners. Okay, everyone to the left. Now we have our outside piece here. And now we're moving down the whole other side. Here's our outside piece. 2 twists. And then we're going to prepare and get this to lay so that we have access to those pipe cleaners around the outside. Hi, Maddie, welcome. Diane, it is 12 and 16, so 28 pieces. We have 12 pipe cleaners on the inside and 16 on the outside. So 28 pieces, which means that you will need 2 rolls of deco mesh. Removing the inside 12 pipe cleaners because we have our plush attachment that's going to sit right in the center. So we're basically creating a home so that she doesn't fall through to the other side. Okay, outside. Every time I look up, I'm like, wow, there's still so much deco mesh left. But we're getting there. You could take 10-inch deco mesh and you could poof this and just poof the outside and then poof the inside. I haven't done it, so I don't know. I would always, if you're not 100% sure, you're going to always make sure you have 2 rolls of deco mesh just in case, because I'm sure you guys have all seen it. We have opened up rolls of deco mesh only to find there's a splice in the middle. There's some imperfection. Sometimes it's not quite a full 30 feet. Sometimes it comes up short, which is frustrating. And yes, you're correct, Diane. It is 20-inch pieces. Just because this mesh, when I roll it out, if you notice when I am rolling this out, it is thinner because it is the jute mesh. So it's got some big holes, like you can see it here. It's pretty transparent. So if I don't thicken it up when I go to put my pieces on, it's going to look thin, and I don't want them to be able to see the frame or any of the mechanics that make up that design, the finished design. Okay, we are back to outside. 2 twists. Oh, this is outside. Outside, girl. It needs to get fluffed over the top. Over the top. I was putting it under and I'm like, what am I doing? Because then, like I said, it's making for a very full section in here to support the weight of our attachment, which is pretty big. Inside. behind. This is going to go under. So it needs to go under the existing pieces. Okay, outside. Hi, Anna. Welcome. Charlotte, I don't have the iNotify. So if you want to be notified when I go live, just make sure that you have liked and followed the page. Okay, outside. And you can see that this is providing a really good solid covered base, which is exactly what I wanted it to do because I'm not poofing. Because a 21-inch mesh would be doubling that up anyway due to the width. So we need to almost do the same thing here. And we're going under. Trying to make sure I get the pipe cleaners out of the way. Because with this mesh being so big and wide, it wants to, like, as I'm laying those in, it wants to go right through the mesh. So we're outside, we're making the corner. So once we get through the corner, we are finished with adding all of our mesh. So what, in a sense, you have created is a large oval. So this is a way you can get around making a swag if you don't have the swag ladder form, you know, the straight one with all the pieces. This allows you to get that exact same look, but a little bit fuller because you're using a lot more mesh. Okay, we're to the inside. So when you're doing your corners, you're always going to do your insides the same. You're going to do those first, and then you do the outside corner. So just to recap, wiring together the frame, you're going to use 12 pipe cleaners wired into the center of the two innermost wires. And then you're going to move to the outside and just do the welds only, wiring together the outside two. And then you're going to add 2 to each of the corners because the sections are so wide that you need something on the outer edge to, you know, get you from one section to the other. So that's where you get the extra 8 pieces, right? No, 4 pieces. Okay, we are doing the outside weld. It is so long right now, I can't even stretch this out. But this is about as full, like, lengthwise, and I'll give you the final dimensions of, like, how wide this is. Now we're going to our inside piece here. I'm going to try to pull my outside piece out of the way. 3 more pieces. And the mesh base will be complete. 20-inch pieces. Or, sorry, 28 pieces cut to 20 inches. Using the ruffle method on 2 Dollar Tree candy cane frames. Removing the inside 12 pipe cleaners as we're adding that. Now we've got 2 outside pieces. You need to cut this with a rotary cutter because it is that jute mesh, so it's got jute all the way through. This mesh came from Hobby Lobby. It's a full 30-foot roll, but you'll need 2 of them. Fluffing outside. Bend our corners. And then we've got to squeeze one in. Right in here. So the last one's always the most challenging, because you've got to move the one before it and move aside the one you just put in. So here's our last piece. Laying that right on inside. So now you can see that we have more than enough mesh on the inside, even though there's an opening there, to hold our wreath attachment. Just fluffing that last piece of mesh. Trying to find my inside piece so I can lay the outside pieces together. There we go. Okay, so that is our finished dimension. It is very massive and big. So from the edge of the mesh to the edge of the mesh, you're at 33 inches long. Let's see, from edge of mesh to edge of mesh, you're at 19 inches wide. And we're going to, I'm going to go ahead, I think, I'm trying to think of, like, do I want to put the attachment in the center? I think I need to do the outside pieces first, these outsides, so that I know where everything's going to fall. But let me show you what it looks like, the piece-wise. So this is your wreath embellishment kit. It comes with the head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. So here are your plush legs. We have plush arms. And then we have a plush head. So this is why we needed a place to put all this. So obviously you'll have your head, you'll have your 1 foot, 2nd foot, we have 1 hand, and then the other hand. So that's basically what we're creating. And then we're going to use a sign in the center. So we're using a 12.5 by 6 inch sign that just basically says Gingerbread Bakery. So our little Missy here is going to be cooking up her holiday favorites. So craft outlet for the kids, if they still have them, and also for the sign. So in order for us to get everything ready, we're going to work the outside so that the base is finished, and then we can add our bows, and then we should be good. So now I'm going to take those pieces we were moving to the left, and we're doing tails and half bows for these. So these are the colors. We're doing 1.5 inches red with a white Swiss dot, 19 inches. We're doing the 2.5 inch gingerbread on tan, 14-inch piece cut, or 2.5 inch piece cut to 14 inches. So these are the pairings for 1. And then we're doing a white with gingerbread men and a gingerbread house. Again, 14-inch piece for this 2.5 inch ribbon. And then we're pairing that with a red, white, and tan plaid, 1.5 inch cut to 19-inch pieces. So we're just going to put these all the way around the outside, which means if we had 16 pieces, I think there's a section I didn't do, but we will look let's go ahead and put them all in. So I'm going to start here. The ribbons for both the 2.5 inch are from Kringle Designs. So they're at kringledesigns.us. We're just going to fan them to the outside to create some visual interest. Then we're going to take our 1.5 inches, put those together, dovetail edges at the bottom, and go up about 2 inches and squish in. And we're going to add those. And open that. Right side one of our tails so that we can see some pretty ribbon all around the outside. I'm going to go ahead and remove those outside pipe cleaners. So with the little tail that's left, it's going to go right behind that loop, so you won't see that. Let's put these right over here. So I always fold my ribbon so that I can find the true center. We're going to tuck that in. Fan that back out. Same thing, edges, ends together, go up about 2 inches, pinch in, and then we'll go ahead and twist those until I feel like we've got about 4 or 5 twists on them. Cut off the excess, wrap that around the back, open our loop, right side one part of your 1.5 inch ribbon. Oops, this one got twisted. I was like, why am I not feeling the glittery snow to the outside? Just like that. And then we'll just keep on going until we finish. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the reason why I will skip, I'm going to start from the other side. I think from here at the red is where her legs will go. I think that's why I was like, why we had 2 less. I'm going to look really quick and make sure. Because you can't really put her legs where the ribbon is. But I just want to double check. And I'm almost positive that's why the instructions for me were a little bit different. So just like that. Depends on what you want to see. If you want to see your Swiss dot, you can put those under. Let me look at her head real quick for placement. She's going to be there. Sign, sign, legs, leg, leg. I think that's where those go. And then this will be a bow. I think that's what it is. So yes, I'm going to skip those 2 red at the bottom. So I have a red here and a red here. So I am going to skip that. I will remove the pipe cleaners there, just so I know where the legs go, because they kind of fall right here out to the side. And if I had anything there, the legs would just cover them. In, open, okay, skipping the other red. I think that's the reason, that's the why behind, so that symmetrically whatever we've done on one side matches exactly to what we're doing here, so that we don't have like opposing ribbons. They'll all be the same. Like the pattern stays consistent across one and the other. you could, if you wanted to, place your little scatters and fillers at the ends of your pipe cleaner. You can do red, cream, and brown if you'd like. I don't know why I did that. It's like I was preparing for the little scatters and fillers to be there. So this means that you will need 7 pieces of each of the 4 ribbons. The 2.5s cut to 14 inches. The 1.5s cut to 19 inches. For this particular design that I'm making, if you're welcome to always change if you want a different look. So it should go pretty quick. I think the longest part was just putting all the deco mesh in. You know, because you don't want to be able to hang this on your door and just have the whole back part open. Hi Tara, hi Sharon. Thanks for watching. Back around, open, right side one leg of your bow. So we definitely have a lot more ribbon than we're used to as well. A lot more ribbon, a lot more to mesh. Is there any questions that I can answer for any of you? Hi, Carol. No worries about coming in late. The base is actually 2 of the large Dollar Tree candy cane forms zip tied together to create a base for us to, it's like a U-shaped base for us to create a swag. So that's what you're seeing right now, is the mesh base. So hard to show the whole thing because right now this measures 33 inches long, 19 inches wide, measuring from mesh point to mesh point. It's always so challenging to figure out, okay, well, what colors do you want to incorporate in your ribbons? What colors are you going to want to incorporate in your bows? but I think we've got some really good coverage on our base. You can't see the frame. Let's get this under that. Kind of spin that around. We've got 3 more sets of ribbons to put in. Right on the inside. Kind of like this. The Swiss dot hanging over the top. Just because it matches the Swiss dot and the gingerbread ribbon from her dress to the little gingerbread boy's bow. One more of each. There's that. How many pieces of mesh did you use? So Carol, it is 28 pieces of 10-inch mesh cut to 20-inch pieces. So we'll do the last one right here. These are our tails and half bows. So 14 inches for the 2.5-inch pieces. We fold so we can find the true center. So that can go right inside. You're going to fan those to the outside. And then you're going to take your 1.5-inch ribbon cut to 19-inch pieces, already dovetailed. Go up about 2 inches, pinch in, place that in the center of your pipe cleaner. These are called half bows. You're going to snip that off. Take the excess piece, tuck it around behind the loop, open your loop, open or right side that one leg of your ribbon, and then again fan those to the outside. So these are the pieces we have. So our base is complete. So now we are going to attach everything. So I'm going to, my sign's already prepped, going to remove the twine. We are going to add in pipe cleaners with our staple gun. So there's one, there's the other. Give it a twist. These are 1/4-inch staples. I'm just going to go ahead and glue. Not that I need it, but if you feel like you just want to make doubly sure, you can go ahead and do that. But the staples are more than fine. I'm always trying to find where it needs to get put back. I always twist it so when I'm pulling them in, I don't pull them out from my stapled point. There's that. Okay, So sign is set up. Her head. So at the back of her head, you have 3 places where you can actually attach this. So I'm just looking for placement. Where do I want to put it? So I want her right at the very top. So I still want to see some of the deco mesh from the outside. And then let's go ahead and put her head in. So I always want to make sure that there's a good twist, which is there. Sometimes the side pieces generally don't have it, but I want to make sure they don't pull from the outside. So we'll be able to attach these, no problem, to our deco mesh base. So I'm just going to put this right on top. Okay, there's one. Let's get the other one. Okay, so we have her head. So we're going to pull that down to the center, give it a couple twists, because I'm happy with where her head's going to go. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take this all the way down to that frame. Remember, we're putting this on those giant U's. So we have the inside pieces and we have the outside pieces. So I'm just making sure they line up on each. Pull that one down. Just so her head doesn't float. Like in case the wind comes along, we don't want her head to be blown away. Like the bottom of it lifting. So there's one. Okay, she is nice and snug in there. Now we want to put in the sign, because the sign is going to determine where her hands go. So I want it just underneath, like right there. I don't feel like it needs to be right up under her chin. It could be, because then the outside pieces are simply going to hold the sign like she's, you know, sandwich board person. You can make it slightly to the side. We're going to need to pull these forward to attach these right to our frame. There's that one. And I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to pull my piece to the side. Let's just do one twist so we can get this one situated. We might need to readjust the other side just a touch. But trying to get through all those layers of mesh with one thin pipe cleaner. Got one. There is the other. Never fails, it always has one piece of deco mesh stuck there. Okay, let's tuck her head down. We're actually going to place a small bow right underneath her chin to connect those pieces together. But our outside hand pieces, we're going to remove the tags. And see, like these ones almost don't even need to be there, the outside bows. But we can make her hold from the bottom. I am looking. How do I want her to hold it? Let me think. I like them when we do them from the side, but we also don't want to impose on our sign as well. And so you also have this outside piece, so we don't want that hanging too far out the outside because you'll see it from the back. So this needs to be snug in. So let me think about that. So if we angle it from the bottom, I think we should be okay. So I gotta move my ribbon so I can actually get this attached to our frame. Okay, we've got one in. And these are wired, so you can take her hands and really move her hands around. And so I'm going to use the fact that we have those outside ribbons to kind of tuck and cover her hands. But I need to make sure we've got an anchor point on both sides. So just like this, we're bending that around. There's our one. Now we have to do it to the other side. So there's our one hand. We're just anchoring it down here at the bottom, right where the gingerbread's boy and girl are. So I'm just pulling back the ribbon right here so that we can actually hit our frame. So I've got to get in one side. Once I got it on the one side, I can figure out where it's supposed to go on the other. Bring this in, bend to the hands. So we're trying to get my wire in where I need it to be first. Bending her hands. Let's go ahead and twist this in. We will have some of our ribbon cascade over the top of our sign. I don't like where this is placed. It's way too loose for me. So I'm going to bring this back out on one side and move it a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and pull you down. Oop, there we go. I'm trying to find where our metal is. This is the downside to some of their plush, is you can pull and then we lose the ability to bend it. Like, you don't want to pull so much. Okay. Pull this down and away. Lordy, a lot of wire. There's that. There's that. She's situated. and I'm not happy where this is. So this requires me to make a small adaptation, because sometimes the wire isn't where I want it wired. So I am just going to take 22 gauge floral wire. I'm going to do this so that I can anchor it a bit higher up, and then I can get that anchored more flat. So under our sign, there we go. Now you'll see when I pull it down, we've got a more snug look to that. There we go. Much, much better. So that just shows you that if you need to make some adaptations to the wreath attachment based on your design needs, you can definitely feel free to do that. Let's go ahead and add her legs, which are going to be down here in those red zip tie areas. So I left them so that they would be our key indicator. So we've got one here, one there, and one up in here. So that's where those are going to go. And then we're going to put a giant bow right in the center. So before we move, I'm going to crisscross these. Let's remove our pipe cleaner. And we're going to attach this to our frame. Should have a hit there. So one leg, and yes, the wires go all the way down to the legs, so you can pose them. There is one. And then we're going to remove this one. Make sure we've got a twist so we don't accidentally pull them through. Again. I love the fact that they use some really thick wire for this attachment, except for the head, because you don't need it for the head. But when you go to attach your legs, you have some really thick wire. I am making sure. Yes, I had to make sure. I think the attachments fit is so much better in swags. I do too, Susan. I've seen some people who have some really short gingerbread people. So let's make sure that this, see, here's that thing. The same thing happened here, is that, and that is, could be one of the downsides to the attachments, is because they put the wire up through the attachment so there's like a loop in here. So if you pull and it's not secured on the inside, you'll pull that attachment all the way down to the bottom, which means that you need to, and it should be attached to the actual attachment itself, but it's not. So that's what this one did. So I'm going to run this wire right through the felt so that it can still pose, but it'll stay right where I want it to stay in the wreath. So one high and one low, and we'll get that attachment secured nice and snug. I'm a big proponent about that I don't want things flopping around. So if I have to stop and make a small adjustment, like we did and really secure those attachments in place, then that's what you have to do to make sure you don't have floppiness. Okay, so there is our gingerbread girl. So really quick, we're going to make her a bow for the center, and then we're going to give her some hair bows up here, and then we're just going to make a super cute short ribbon here. So let's go ahead and do that. I think the Swiss dot would be perfect for her little bow in the front. So let's do that. So I am going to take the Swiss dot and the brown. So I have brown canvas. I'm just going to make a hand-tied bow for that section. So I need to see approximately where's that going to go. I think my tails are about 5 inches. So 5-inch tail. I'm going to measure a 7-inch loop. I'm going to bring those together. I'm going to twist. I'm going to measure out another 7 inches. I'm going to gather. I'm going to bring that back to the center and twist. And then we're doing 5 inches. Just like so. And then we're going to dovetail this while holding it all together. Just like that. So she has a nice cute little bow right underneath her chin. Let's see. Can we get that underneath there? Let me look. So much better working from the left. So right up there. If I kind of put it just underneath her chin, I have to be careful that we can move the sign down a bit. So let's do this really quick. I'm gonna make her a cute little bow, and I'm just gonna pull the sign down just a bit so that we can fit a bow right here underneath her chin. But see, if I leave it too close, let me grab a brown pipe cleaner. This is what I'm saying. It starts to impact the whole made with love thing. Okay, so if we make this here, we need to make sure her bow does not interfere. Let's try it. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pull that down. Back through the deca mesh we go. And back through this deca mesh. See if we can snug that right underneath her chin. I hate moving things once I get them in place. Let's see. I really hate moving things once they're in place. Because I wanted her to have a nice cute little bow. What if I'm just looking at possibilities? What if we just glued her bow? What if we just glued her bow to the underside of her chin and shortened the tails just a touch? I'm trying to get the bow to work because it fills the gap between the sign and her head. So let's try shortening up the bow, and it's all about aesthetics, right? It's the sign. Ugh. This is why I generally don't. Let's move this down just a touch. So I just have loosened up the sign. We'll get her bow in. So that we'll attach that right there. So I'm just going to hot glue her bow under her chin. Just so that we have this in place. Right under her chin. And then we're just going to add a nice, cute little fancy embellishment to the center of her bow. Let's pull this down just a touch. Just ever so slightly. We just need to drop our sign like one smidge over. Okay, there's one. Trying to get it so that my pipe cleaners are on that crossbar again. And there's always one thread that holds everything up. That works because it allows me to pull my bows around my sign a bit more. Let's go ahead and make sure that sets up. While that's in process, we'll lower this one just a smidge. We'll just move it up and over. All the mechanics of wreath making, when things don't go a smooth fit from the get-go. Up, under. There we go. Now we can read our sign. And we can see bows on both sides now. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Just a slight adaptation. See that. Fix this. We're all good there. Just got our nice little bow handy. We can still read our sign. Now we need to make the bow and then give her some hair bows. So let me set this aside. We're gonna have to go down there today. So, hair bows made with 4 ribbons. So we're going to go with the colors that we have in our design. Hey cat, where did you put your... Oh. These colors. So we're going to start with the brown. So we're dovetailing. These are going to go fairly quick. So we're making hair bows for her. So we're doing 9 inches. Well, let's do 8. Let's go 8. I'm changing. 8 inches with 5-inch loops. So that's 4.5. We want the brown to extend just a touch. So 8 inches, 5-inch loops. So I'm always bringing my bow dabra back to the 10 and then stretching out my ribbon and making sure we're winding up on our exact measurements of 8-inch tails, 5-inch ribbon. We're going to need to do this twice for her hair bow. So I'm just making sure. We're right there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in our plaid. And we're going to go 7.5 inches in. There's our other 4.5. Yep. And then back out to 7.5. Dovetail ends, which is just bring those wired edges together. Cut from the fold to the wired point. Then we're going to do our Swiss dot. And this is going to be 7 inches. And we're doing a 4-inch loop. So we're bringing it down 1/2 inch every single time. 4 inches. And 4 inches. Back out to 7. Dovetail the end. And then we're going to do our gingerbread print, which you can get from Craft Outlet. It's little gingerbread on white velvet. And we're going to do this one at 6.5 inches. And we're doing 3.5 inch loop. Up and over. A little bit tighter. So they're just little hair bows for her. So she's going to have 2, one on each side of her head. And we're back. And we will use a beige pipe cleaner. And since this is going to kind of come down to the bottom, we're just going to bring all of our loops to the bottom, or tails to the bottom. While it's still in the Bodabra, because I need to know where the tails are. Beige pipe cleaner. We're going to actually fluff these on the wreath. So I'm going to show you right where these are going to go. So we are taking her, and she's going to get super cute little bows right up here. So she's going to have nice little ponytails. So I need to, and the great thing is there's the rail is just like right here. So right where you want her ponytails at, go ahead and twist. And then we're going to fluff from the bottom. So remember, we want all the tails to the bottom so that they're all out here. And we're going to fluff and fluff ponytails. I'm going to do these ones a little bit different. A little bit different. And we're going to really fluff up all her ribbons. Just like that. So she's got one set of ponytails, and now we're going to put another set over here. So she needs to sit. Now we're going to make that other bow really quick. So dovetail again. I told you this one's getting literally everything in the kitchen sink. So we said 8 inches. It's almost done with 5-inch loops. So this one's going to go much quicker. Five inches out to 8. Dovetail the end. Okay, there's that one. Then we are doing the plaid. At 7.5 with 4.5-inch loops. Right there. Right there. 7.5. Do our tails. That one is done. That one is finished. This one, let's see. I don't think I'll have enough on that roll. So, let me grab another roll. There we go. This way I know we'll have more than enough because I'll need it for our big bow. So 7 inches, 4-inch loop. Same on the other side. 7-inch tail. And then our gingerbread ribbon. That one can go away. And then gingy ribbon. 6.5 inches. 3.5-inch loops. Another 3.5-inch loop. Oops. And then back out 6.5 inches. Dovetail the end. Get our pipe cleaner. And go up and over. Twist. Pull all our tails down. Okay, grab our gingerbread girl. And we're going to go ahead and attach this one right here to the side. I don't know why. It's like this gingerbread attachment to me looks like it should just be a girl. So that's why she's getting little pigtail bows. Okay. It's all the mesh. It's always the mesh. Okay. I'm gonna fluff her bow. go. So now she's got super cute hair bows. So now she looks like our cute little girl. Okay, last one. We're adding a bow to her center because then it needs to fill this gap. It just looks weird to not have something there. So we're going to do our normal size bow. So we're going to do the gingerbread print. And this is the last thing. Big bow. So this one's going standard wreath formula. So 10-inch, gathering, twisting, and we're doing 5.5-inch for the loop size. We've got a lot to cover. Okay, another 5.5-inch. Always bringing it back to the 10, measuring out, making sure your tail length is even. Dovetail that one. Okay, that one is finished. Then we'll add our gingerbread print. Just like so. Right, Pam? She says, I love putting the bow under her neck because it makes her head look attached. You have to. It's just like there's a disconnect unless you snug the sign up right underneath her chin. And then that just kind of looks like that's exactly what you did. We're going 5 inches for our loop here. Up and around. Five inches here, back out 9.5 inches. This is probably one of the most complex wreath designs that I have made because it requires so much work. Not that it's hard to do, but there's just a lot of steps in the process of completing it. So I'm going to do the brown next. And then we will do our plaid, just like her bows. So we're going to do brown, and that's going to be at, this was 10, 9.5. This is going to be 9 inches. And then this will tie her hair bows into her big bow. So this will be 4.5 inches for our loop length. And then back out to 9. There's that one. Brown is finished. I love using a lot of solid colors because as wreath makers, we have a tendency of get kind of caught up in all the things. So now we're going 8.5 inches. And we're still doing 4.5-inch loops for the center one. And this is the bow recipe that I have for free on my website on the main page. So if you like this bow and want the instructions, there's also a free tutorial you can download or sign up to receive that on my email newsletter. There's that too. This one is finally finished. And then we're doing our Swiss dot. And then our gingerbread will finally finish it. This is going to be 8 inches. It's going to have a 4-inch loop. So measure 4 inches. And then back out to 8. I don't think there's anything I forgot in this wreath. Cinnamon sticks maybe, glitter balls maybe, but honestly we're stopping. And then the gingerbread ribbon to finish it off. And this will be 7.5 inches for the tail and 3 inches for the loop size. So 3.5 inches. Just fix that one underneath. There's 3.5. 3.5, and this is going to be a bottom bow too. And then that is 7.5 out. Oop, almost cut it all the way through. Okay, that one is finished. We are grabbing another pipe cleaner. And we're going to fluff this one on the board so it's ready to go and just attach. So we're going to pick this up. We're going to drop our pipe cleaner in, hold it at the bottom, and twist. And then the board. I don't know how I always end up eating my board backwards. So it's a 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick piece of plywood. It was all pre-cut with an 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook. So that I'm just going to loop my ribbons on. Since it's a downward facing bow, we're doing the same thing. We're pulling everything down as far as our tails. Just pull all the tails down. Leave all the loops up. There's another tail and another one. I feel off. I always build this way. So all the tails are down. You're going to start at the top by lifting the top 2 in opposite directions. So one way, the other direction. Same with the bottom pieces. Next 2, lift and pull. Opposite directions here. And then the bottom ones, same thing. We're going to go one high and one low. Open those up. Same thing here. One high, one low. Open them up, and then just fluff your ribbon to your desired look. And then for the tails, you're just going to run them through your fingers so that it puts the curl back in them. And then just figure out what you want displayed where. And then I'll show you once we turn this around. That is our bottom bow, just like that. So that's going to go right on to our wreath. So we're just going to pop this off, and then we're going to attach it. So let's get Missy over here. So we're going to go ahead and attach her bow right into the center, right inside here, just underneath the sign. The nice thing is you can hit your frame, because that's where your frame is. It's already right here. I'm attempting again to get the pipe cleaners down into the bottom. Go ahead and push that to where you get that in place. Go ahead and secure. And then you're just going to fluff around all your pieces. Let me look at her straight on. Let's spin her bow. It looked like it was just off a bit. Let me just move it slightly over. Okay, here's where it's going. Gotta find the other pipe cleaner. There we go. Now we've got you wound up in the center. We've got a little bit of a floof right here, so I'm going to push that down so it's not going to push our bow way up in the air anymore. Let's get all of her ribbons fluffed, because we kind of smash things when we're working through our design. Just like so. Let's open this one back up, because it's kind of folded. Same thing there. She is like, this is one big, big wreath. So design sizes are still the same. We did not exceed any of the borders, but let me show you this on a full-size door. So I'm going to pan you up. Whoop. There you go. So full-size door. Lots of hanging options on the back. Go. I'm just fluffing all of her tails out to the side so we can pick her up. And should trying to get her centered on my door. There we go. I had her way off. I don't know how we got pieces of bow and ribbon in there. Okay, let's get you centered, Missy, on the door. And let's just fluff to our heart's content and make sure everything is where it needs to be. Because we seriously don't know how. I have all these pieces of cut ribbon that made its way into the design. heater. Don't know how you wound up in there. Oops. You just have to go all the way around and make sure that you have, why is our head seem crooked? I think our sign is slightly off. There we go. We straighten the sign. Let's fix her bow. There we go. What do you guys think? See, here's another piece of a ribbon. So, wow, that is massive. That hangs pretty darn low. Like right here. But there you guys go. She's all ready for front door, home decor. She looked really great on a pillar. Okay, well, we have finished this one. This is down in the books for the year. So thank you guys for joining me and staying so long. This was like an hour and 45-minute live. That's crazy. All right, well, I will see you guys all next week. Have an amazing weekend, and bye for now.